Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains episode review. So this time we will be reviewing episode 39, the beginning of the duel between Go and Revolver, and a very well-known card was used in this duel. The card that has been hyped up for the last 2 months when it comes to Revolver, since episode 31, since Emma said, he used a terrifying card. We didn't see what that card was when he used it, we just knew it was a trap card. And it was revealed in this episode to be Mirror Force. So many people, I think I probably even said it in my review, like, what if it was just Mirror Force? So many people, I think, guessed that it was Mirror Force, but I don't think anyone legitimately thought they were gonna make it Mirror Force. I think we all thought it was gonna be some card similar to Mirror Force, but it actually was Mirror Force, and that obviously was such a homage to, early Yu-Gi-Oh! And funny enough, according to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wikipedia, Mirror Force has actually now appeared in every single Yu-Gi-Oh! It appeared in 3 episodes of Arc 5. I don't think it was used by anyone in Arc 5, but it might have been in, like, the background or in a flashback, which sometimes you see, like, flashback duels and stuff. I think it was shown in episode, like, 195 and 145. I think those were the episodes. I don't remember any character using it, but I might be wrong about that. But either way, Mirror Force, I think, is now the only card that has been used in every single Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe there's been one that, maybe like Pot of Greed, but I don't remember Pot of Greed either being in, like, I remembered Mirror Force in Duel Monsters through Zexal. I knew Mirror Force had been used in 5D's GX and Zexal, and obviously in the original, but I don't remember it at all in Arc 5, but I just looked it up to check. But yeah, Mirror Force has now been used in shown, I should say, in every single Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, so that is really cool. But yeah, that was the super special card, and I thought they did it justice in this episode. I really did. It looked awesome, and I just love how when Revolver activated it, it's this card that emits such a powerful light, like it's this holy, magical, almost godlike trap card, and then you look closer, and they zoom in on it, and it's freaking Mirror Force. It was so great. It was so funny, and I absolutely loved it. So, yeah, that was the big moment and the big turning point of the duel at this episode. It was actually at the very end of the episode. But, yeah, so the episode begins with Playmaker. I thought the episode actually began pretty interestingly, because Playmaker gets saved by this tidal wave of data that brings him up to land and puts him on the bridge. And he says, "What did I just sense? Did you do that to I?" And I goes, No, I didn't do it. But immediately, and we've seen this so much, and maybe this is now just my paranoia taking over, maybe it doesn't mean anything, but we've seen it so much whenever Playmaker wants to talk about something or brings up a topic that has to do with the Cyberse or the Ignis, I always quickly changes the subject. And it happened exactly that way at the very beginning of this episode, where Playmaker gets put on the bridge, and he goes, "Did you do that? What did I?" And I goes, "No, I absolutely didn't." And Playmaker goes, "What did I just sense now?" And then I quickly goes, "But more importantly, look at the Tower of Hanoi." And then the topic was never brought up again, even though literally his life was just saved by some weird power and weird connection that he has with the Cyberse. And I just feel like Ignis, that I keep trying to call him I, because I know Ignis is the type of artificial intelligence. I just feel like I really knows a lot more than he leads on with a lot of these things, and for some reason he doesn't want Playmaker to think about it, as if he doesn't want Playmaker to remember something from that lost incident. He doesn't want Playmaker to find out something about him and find out something about the Ignis. I really don't know, but I thought that was interesting. And then we immediately see Go, a little flashback with him and his manager. I thought that was funny when he just goes to his manager, "You're fired," because his manager didn't want him to go into Link VRains. That was good. That was good back and forth. And Go says, "I'm going to return." The manager says, "You better return." And so Go goes into Link VRains to obviously fight for the thing that he absolutely loves. And he starts walking in the barren wasteland that VRains is now, thanks to the Tower of Hanoi. And we see the silhouette of Revolver in the distance. The sandstorm clears, and it is Revolver. And Revolver says something very interesting, too, because he says something that myself and I think a lot of people would probably agree with, where he just goes, "Oh yeah, I guess I am viewed as the villain, but that's clearly not I wouldn't consider myself evil. I'm not going to bother telling you our plan," just like he didn't bother telling Ghost Girl his plan. The reason for not telling Ghost Girl is because Ghost Girl probably wanted to sell the information and didn't care. The reason he doesn't want to tell Go is because Go wouldn't want to see it from his perspective, so it'd be useless to tell him, which he's absolutely right about. I mean, at this point, he's practically annihilated Link VRains. He's about to set off an EMP into the entire network world, and the entire world is going to be pretty much turned into a blackout. And so Go is someone who's not gonna, and most people are not gonna want to hear his perspective on it. If I was in Go's shoes, I probably wouldn't. I'd consider him evil. But Revolver even says, yeah, I guess I am evil, even though I don't really consider myself being evil. And that just goes back to the point where, are the Knights really the bad guys here? You know, what they're doing is obviously bad. That's undeniable. That is not, you know, you can't opinionate that. The means that they're going through is way too extreme. I've said that a lot. But again, is what they are trying to do, the end goal, is that so evil? I really don't know. There's still a lot that we don't know, and Revolver clearly doesn't think it. And there was another line that Revolver said in this duel that I thought was interesting, almost setting the way for maybe a redemption for Revolver, which I think we all thought was going to happen, but I don't know. It still might happen. It probably will happen, but who knows if it actually will. Where Revolver goes, I like passionate guys like you. I don't hate passionate guys like you. It's too bad I'm very cold-hearted in a duel. So that was him actually giving Go a little credit, which he didn't do for Ghost Girl at all. I think he did for Playmaker a bit. So Revolver, at least in that line, showed me, and I think he showed a lot of people, that he has some sort of respect for Go, and that could become maybe important down the road if he does have a turn where he can say, Go, you know, I know I'm sorry for what I did, but I do respect your style of dueling, and I do respect your intensity, and Go will probably remember him saying that or something along those lines. So that was an interesting line. As for the duel itself, brilliantly animated. No Gilbo was animating this episode. It looked absolutely beautiful. Some shots of Revolver looked incredibly clean. The shots of Playmaker looked incredibly clean. Go looked great. And as you would expect from a No Gilbo episode, the dueling was good. Go filled his field in the beginning with Gokis. Revolver got out Topologic. It was good to see Topologic again. Topologic used its effect, wiped the entire field. One of Go's monsters stayed because it was in the extra monster zone, not in the main monster zone. Topologic ended up attacking it, and after some back and forth, Go took 1,100 points of damage, and I believe that was the only amount of damage that was taken in this episode, so Revolver does have a 4,000 to 2,900 point lead. And then Go's turn came, Go's second turn came, and he really, really impressed. This was a very, very strong showing from Go. He got a bunch of monsters onto the field. He got a monster called Shadow Ogre, I believe it was, and Shadow Ogre ended up destroying Topologic Bomber, so he actually got rid of Revolver's Topologic and pretty much cleaned out Revolver's field. Revolver used a combination that basically meant if Go couldn't get 4 links onto the field, he couldn't attack this turn. So Go basically said challenge accepted, and he actually ends up getting 4 link monsters on his side of the field, and Revolver's field is wide open. And this was the point where, you know, I is going crazy on the sidelines. He's like, oh my god, Go's gonna win, Go's gonna win. And Playmaker, and I like how he says to Playmaker, just like, why are you so depressed? And I feel like you can almost say that to him 24/7, because that's literally the kind of character, or depressed or angry, those are his two emotions. And Playmaker then realizes that card that Revolver set right before this turn that Go had, this very good turn that Go had, must be that extremely powerful card, and that's why he's, you know, very confident. That's why Revolver is very confident. So Go begins his attack, and of course if these attacks land, it's over. If these attacks land, it's over, and Go wins, which unfortunately, you know, in an ideal world, you'd want Go to win, but I don't think anyone actually believes that's going to happen. Go begins his assault, and Revolver, you know, screams, fall into the pitch darkness or whatever, you know, typical villain line, and he activates the Holy Barrier, Mirror, Force, and again, the way they did it, the light, you know, shining through the TV, blinding Kusanagi, blinding the kids in the orphanage, which, by the way, I feel bad for the kids in the orphanage and the teacher, because they're all happy, they're rooting for Go, it's being broadcasted by the Pigeon and the Frog, but you know they're going to have to watch Go Onizuka lose to Revolver and be turned into Data, and that's going to be, just for the kids' sake, it's going to be probably a sad scene. If you don't feel bad for Go because, you know, maybe you don't connect with him, or he's just been AFK for so long that you've kind of lost all feelings you have for him, I'm still going to feel bad for the kids, because that's going to be rough to watch, and I'm kind of hoping that the broadcast cuts out right before Go is turned into Data. Maybe the Pigeon and the Frog will be randomly absorbed by the tower. Who really knows, but that's going to be a sad moment. If Go loses, I know I'm already counting Go out, but I think I think it's pretty safe to say that Go is going to lose. This is, I feel like, it has to be Playmaker versus Revolver. There's no way that Playmaker versus Revolver isn't going to happen, but I wanted Go to put on a good show. He's put on a good show to this point, and Go, at the very end of this episode, says that deadly card that Playmaker was warning me about, was Mirror Force. And that was the end. Revolver smirks wickedly and fades to black, and that is how this episode comes to an end. I actually thought it was a really, really solid episode. Another Master Duel. I definitely do appreciate the Master Duels, and again, just seeing Mirror Force was a trip down memory lane. It really was, and it was, I thought, really, really well done, especially because for 8 episodes now, we've all been discussing in the community what this super card is going to be. I thought it was going to be a similar card to Mirror Force, maybe like a Link Mirror Force, where if there's maybe 3 or more Link monsters on the field, there's no card that can be responded in activation, or no effect that can be responded in activation to this, like an unbreakable Link Mirror Force. I thought that would be kind of interesting because Emma's 3 monsters that were destroyed were all Link monsters. All 4 monsters that got destroyed were 4 Link monsters, and that's what I thought they were doing. I was like, okay, this clearly is going to be like a Link Mirror Force, maybe even called like Mirror Link Force or something like that, but they just, went really OG on us and just used your basic Mirror Force. So overall, enjoyable episode, good bounce back episode from the recap, and next week we'll have to continue to see. Go also summon Great Ogre, so I wonder if maybe we will see our first Link 5 monster next week. That'll be very, very interesting to see. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap things up. Please leave all your thoughts on this episode, on any aspects of this episode down below. I cannot wait to talk to you guys about this episode and about your predictions regarding Go vs. Revolver. So as always, thank you so much for the constant support. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Valentine's Day to those that are going to be celebrating it today, and I all hope you have an incredible day.